Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to American Defender. So today what we're going to do is we are going to read comments. I just saw one of them. Okay, so uh here we go. All right, gonna go over comments. I've got them all right here. All right, gotta have a pouch, and I've got my Coca-Cola next to me. In case I need a drink. Uh, so let's go ahead and let's read these. All right, so Morris Van Nieuwendam. I hope. Is it Nieuwendam or Nieuwendam? It looks like Nieuwendam. Says, Jim, this is regarding Make It Burn. All right, the song I just released. So we're going to talk about that. He says, Jim, my man, stay off the meth. Focus on the Challenger again. Well, okay, duly noted. I'm not on meth. I've never been on meth. I hate meth. I got some Tylenol, though. But duly noted. Uh, I can't do anything with guns right now, guys. With any kind of rifle, I can't. I can't stand for really too much time. I definitely can't stand at a drill press or a mill and do the things that we've got to do to the AEA. I can't do it right now, and I don't know how long it's going to be before I can. I'm sorry, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles in the situation that I'm in. As soon as I am able to, though, we are going to pick up the AEA. We're going to pick that all back up. We're gonna start back up where we left off. I'm finally going to be able to get Terry his gun back because I can't even drive right now. So I'm waiting for all of that to, there's a lot of stuff up in the air right now. So I'm waiting to heal up and get the okay and the all clear on that. And as soon as I do, you guys are going to know because things will get back to normal around here. All right. So, all right. Let's see here. Richard Gonzalez. Oh, buddy, I hope you're doing okay. Last time I talked to you, you weren't feeling too good. He says, drones to hunt clones by the sound of their moans. I heard the last Rolling Stones sing Dig Up Her Bones. You are a wordsmith. I've said it before. You're a poet. You don't even know it. Yes, I have drones. Okay, we are going to be messing around with drones, reviewing drones, RC cars. I'm going to kind of bring that into the channel temporarily, I guess, unless you guys really like RC car videos. Because that's basically what I can do. I have to do stuff that I can do in this chair right here. All right. We are going to be building uh, a land drone. I have another RC car up there, and we're going to equip it with a brushless motor, a new speed controller, a new radio. We're going to set this thing up for first person view or FPV, I'm probably gonna end up putting I don't know if I'm gonna put an Airtronics radio in it or what I'm gonna put in it, but I'm gonna put a radio in it that's got some reach. Okay, something like they would use for a drone is what I'm gonna put into it to where I could get to maybe. I really would like to get like 5 miles out of the radio. All right, but 2 miles seems to be a common thing, so at least it'll do that. And it'll be one of those drones where you can put the goggles on and I can see where I'm going with it in first person view, put a GoPro on it, and then we're going to use that to go explore another topic that I'm going to be introducing. Explore some old mines and mine shafts that I know of in the search for gold and in the search for the Lost Dutchman mine. I've studied the Lost Dutchman, Jacob Waltz, for a very long time. He's a real person. His gold is real. His mine is real. It was never found. Um, People die every year looking for it. Uh, my wife and I have been out in the area out there and the surrounding areas looking for it. And I have found quite a few places with one in particular. Um, that seems very, very probable that it could be there. The area that I'm discussing, the first area I want to go to, I discovered at the end of August, early September. And when you're standing in the area, what I believe has the potential to be the entrance to Jacob Waltz's mine, I'm looking right at it. If I go to the north, I'm looking right at Four Peaks. And if I turn around and I look behind me, I'm looking right at a needle. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, here in Arizona, we have a couple of large peaks. We call them needles because they come up and they get real narrow as they go up. We have Miner's Needle, and then the most popular one that a lot of people go to is Weaver's Needle. Neither one of those are the needle that I'm discussing that I can see. Neither one of those. It's another needle. It's part of another mountain range that's directly behind you. So that is something that lines up with some of the hints that Jacob Waltz left on his deathbed. I can also, from near where I think the entrance is, and there is an entrance. I've confirmed that. There is what I would call a rock face, or other words, a cliff. All right, the face of a cliff. And I can get up on top of that cliff and I can look out and I can see out everywhere. And I can see like an old wagon trail out there, which I believe some folks might say is the military trail. There is a waterfall in the area. Now this waterfall doesn't flow year round; it only flows when it rains. But it is a waterfall nonetheless, and there are gigantic cutouts in the ground out there that look like bathtubs. All right, and it's just from sand and rock and gravel cutting down into soft spots in the earth, and it creates these very large pools, if you will. And I believe that's what Jacob Waltz was referring to as the tubs. Okay. There's also in the area I found that evidence that shows that that area hasn't been visited regularly, at least. And if it has been visited, people have been taking care of it rather well by modern man. Because, and by modern man I mean recent people. It's not regularly. Well, it's 6 to 6.5 miles away from the main highway. All right, I'll tell you that much right now. And you've got to go clear up by Superior to get to it, and then kind of come back down at it. But I found really old whiskey bottles laying on top of the ground, kind of buried over because as time and dirt and stuff's blown over them, they've kind of got buried, and so, most of them are broken. I found a little bottle out there that is cast with the words tincture of laudanum on it. If you know anything about laudanum, laudanum was outlawed in the early 1900s, right alongside with cocaine. That used to come in Coca-Cola. But I found that bottle out there. I found some old, really old tin cans that had the lead seam on them still. Because that's how food cans back in the old days, that's how they would seal up like a can of beans or a can of potatoes or something like that. Is there would be a lead strip on the side, and that's what I found out there. They haven't made those in gosh years. All right, so in the 40 years I've been alive, I've never seen one. I've never seen one on a store shelf, I should say. I've seen them before, but I've never seen one on a store shelf. So those have been there for a very long time. I believe it was 1940s or 1950s is when they last did that lead strip, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But it's a very interesting place. I want to go out there and I want to send a land drone down into this shaft that I found. And this shaft is in an area that is, you can walk right by it, you won't see it. And that's another one of the clues that Jacob Waltz gave is no miner will ever find my mine. Well, if you were a miner you would walk right by this. You would walk absolutely right on by it, not pay any attention to it, because this entrance is covered by a gigantic boulder. And the only way I found it is I got out in the area looking around, and I saw the boulder, and this boulder just did not look right to me. It did not fit the topography of the area. It did not fit the mineralogy of the area. It was a completely different color. The rocks and cliff faces and mountains in that area, the common colors are like pink, red, purple, and tan. And then, of course, white with quartz. Those are your common colors. This is like a grayish blue color, gigantic. I mean, gigantic, 3 or 4 foot in diameter rock. Um, and I went and was looking at this rock. I'm like, this had to be put here by somebody, and dragged from another place to be put here. When I got to the back of the rock, I saw the initials JW carved into it, and a year, 1872, and it's in an area about so big around, maybe 4 inches around or so, like this. And then on the right side of it, from standing at the back of the rock, looking forward, on the right side, you can see where water has ran down the side of this rock and has washed away the dirt from out under the one side. And there's a little oval hole at the base of it. And when I looked down in that with my flashlight, I saw that it was actually covering up what appeared to be a room. It's just a square room, a lot of timbers holding things up, and then it looked like there was a hallway that went back. So, is it Jacob Waltz's mine? I don't know. But when I saw that room, when I saw everything I saw, I thought, okay, this is interesting. I've got to come back, and I've bet a lot on it. I feel strongly that it's, if it's not his mine, it's someone else's mine. Because who would dig a hole 9 foot deep in a room and timbers and all that kind of stuff? Who would go through that and not pull some kind of something out of there? If it's not gold, it could be silver, it could be turquoise, it could be all sorts of different other minerals. Who knows what it is? Okay. It could have been an old fort. Who knows? Who knows what this thing is? I want to know what it is. But because of that and the chance that I think it could possibly, 50-50, be Jacob Waltz's mine, and because it's outside of the Superstition Wilderness area, I was able to make a claim on it. So I've put a claim on it. And as soon as I am physically able to get back out there, we are going to push ye old rock on over and send us an RC car with a camera down in there and take a look at it. The one we're going to build later on, the land drone we're going to build. So that is what we're going to do. All right. That is something I'm looking forward to doing. Okay, Aaron Harbeen, he comments, why in the hell would anybody want to take the gun apart when it's factory job to make sure the gun is okay? I don't want to take a new gun out of the box. Woo! Punctuation, my friend, punctuation. That is one long sentence. What he's asking is why would anybody want to take a gun apart? Like I've got my Taurus TCP here, it's my carry gun. Why would anybody want to take this out of the box and then have to take it apart and inspect it when it's new? And he's saying that it's the factory's job to make sure the thing works. No, it's your responsibility. You are the gun owner. You bought it. And as a responsible gun owner, you are the one that is supposed to take this apart, and you need to have the knowledge to know how to take it apart, get inside of it, and know what to look for. If I had not done that on my Challenger had metal shavings in there, and I would have never known that. And those metal shavings would have worked their way around the seals and cut them. And then I would have had a big problem. But because of the fact that I was able to get in there and I did what I was supposed to be doing, inspecting my weapon, inspecting my arms, I caught the problem and I fixed the problem. That's why you do it. It doesn't matter if it's $100 gun or a $10,000 gun. You take that puppy apart. If you're going to use it, if it's not going to be a wall hanger or a safe queen, you take it apart, you maintain it, you clean it, you prepare it, and you double, triple check that thing is in good working order. All right, you don't pull an Alec Baldwin. All right, don't be an Alec Baldwin. Be responsible. Be a responsible gun owner. Okay. Brandon Lopez, he says, this is on my Centurion VP12 vid, he says, my cap won't turn to come off. It's really tight. I can't get it off. They're very tight, man. They are. You just got to crank on it. You can use a strap wrench if you need to. Okay, let's go on through here. All right, Joseph Newsome. This is on my Silver Eagle shotgun video. He says, so the 870 mag tube extension fits without modification, or do mods need to be made? The 870 mag tube extension does not fit. I was wrong in that video, and in the description down below, I believe, I went in there and I corrected myself. Always, always, always read my descriptions. If something pops up, if I've got something to say or something like that, I'm going to put that kind of information in the description. He then 11 days ago writes me and asks, is this something that you have done yourself? I would hate to order the part and it not fit. Do not order an 870 tube. It does not fit. However, how I discovered what did fit is I went onto Silver Eagle's website and I found the extension tube. I then got the part number off that extension tube and the manufacturer that makes that extension tube and cross-referenced it on their website, on the manufacturer of the tube's website. I believe, if I remember right, it comes out to be a Benelli Nova tube. All right, but you can go on to their website for Silver Eagle. They sell the tube, but it's like 10 or 20 bucks more than the tube normally is at other places. So you can go about it that way. That's how I discovered what tube it was, is I went straight to the manufacturer. Okay, I was wrong on the 870, and I've made that correction. So hopefully that helps you, man. Hopefully you didn't buy an 870 tube. Of course, okay, gunsmith part coming out. It wouldn't be hard to change the threads if it was. All right, it wouldn't be a difficult modification if you did buy an 870 tube. If you found one somewhere that was cheap, it wouldn't be hard to modify an 870 tube to make it fit a Benelli. All right, so Ed Jackson, this is on my 742 30-06 video, asks, would I recommend 150 grain or 165 grain ammo in a 742 30-06? Either one will work. I would suggest 165 or heavier. However, well, I'm going to save that answer for later because I'm going to have another 742 question here in a minute. No, just pay attention here. Here it comes right here. Okay. Chris Wilkes says, thank you for this video. Just inherited my grandfather's gun, and this was very informative. As my first gun, I want to be educated and treat it well from what I've heard. 30-06 is good ammo to use on almost anything. Chris, any game in North America, Canada, Alaska, any game, anything that can be hunted, you can hunt with a 30-06. Anything. It'll take anything. Okay. However, the 742 itself would not be the 30-06 that I would use to go after stuff like moose, bear, things like that. Why do I say that? Okay. The 742 was conceived and conceptualized and produced at a point in time when the M1 Garand was. So they were the semi-auto 30-06 was still a new idea. All right, and if you know anything about the M1 Garand, it's kind of ammo sensitive. And what I mean by that is that the more modern ammo that's out there that has higher pressures, it will destroy an M1 Garand's op rod. It'll bend it, and so you have to get a special plug and stuff for the M1 Garand to be able to limit the gases going through. Your 742 is the same way. So don't use real hot hunting ammo in the 742. Stuff like Winchester CXP is a no-no. I learned that the hard way. I had bought some CXP2. I fired 3 rounds, 3 out of my 742, and it caused the bolt to jump the rail, jam towards the back. It fired out of battery, and it also, what it did is it caused the barrel extension to rotate on its threads to where the bolt wouldn't lock. So I had to take the gun completely apart, put everything back into order, and then I used some Black Max Loctite on the threads of the barrel extension when I went to go put everything back together in alignment, and then it worked fine. It stayed on the rails. The rails weren't too chewed up, but so you guys don't have to deal with it. and you can save your beloved 742 because they are excellent guns. Don't shoot CXP out of it. Don't shoot any really high pressure rounds out of it. Stick with like the Surplus 30-06 that's designed for the M1 Garand. American Eagle makes some M1 Garand ammo. I shot Federal, just basic blue box Federal out of mine just fine. Privy Partisan, I shot that stuff just fine. Cellar and Bellet was okay. Remington Core Locked worked just fine in all different grains. I even did some hand loads of 200 grains with 200 grain bullets at lower pressures. Did just fine with that. So just this exotic stuff and a lot of the Winchester stuff that's out there, it's just got too much oomph in it for the 742. You've got to watch your foot per second and you've got to watch your pressures. Keep them down on the lower end. Excuse me, gotta take a drink. Keep them down on the lower end of the scale and you'll preserve your rifle. So there's my biggest tip for you guys. First State Airgun says Happy New Year, as does Airguns of Idaho. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Happy New Year's to you, even though we're 14 days after New Year's here. Better late than never. Bengla Defense News asks on my SK19 videos, the one where we hit 110 foot-pounds of energy with the 25 caliber SK19. He says, thanks for this video. Create video on LCS Air Arms slug suggestion. Okay. As soon as I can, I will. I will give you 2 suggestions right here for the 25 cal. I don't know for the other calibers, okay? Griffin, 40 grain, hollow base, hollow points. Those work pretty good. But the Zans, so far Zans hollow points are the best. I just got to adjust here a little bit. Those are phenomenal. Okay. All right. So let's keep going down here. The Walk with Owl says, nice looking bullpup. That's a shame you're having all those problems with it. It's really got some power behind it. Michael Marcus says, I can't stop laughing. Great sense of humor. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Both you guys. Again, full disclosure, that bullpup's not mine. That is owned by Terry of Fox Air Power. That is his gun. He's let me borrow it for the videos. Okay, it's a demo gun. I can't stress that enough. And it is a shame that I was having all those problems with it. However, after all of my travails, after all of my trips out there, 3 different trips out there, coming back, sitting down with it, even after I said I'm done with this thing, it's unsafe and all of that stuff, and I'm gonna take some of that back in this video. Prior to my injury, I had taken that gun apart one last time, and I noticed that the we'll call it the connecting rod or the trigger rod that connects the trigger to the gun had moved. So that tells me that that rod is coming loose due to the amount of recoil and vibration, and it needs a little bit of Loctite, which I ran out of, so I couldn't do anything about it. So Terry, when you get your gun back, which you will, as soon as I can get to the FedEx and I'm cleared to drive and all that, adjust that thing until the sear just barely catches that hammer, and then Loctite it. You know that you want to Loctite that thing. I think that's your problem. William Barnwell, I believe I used to work with this guy. He's an excellent guy. He was one of my favorite ROs when I did work at the shooting range. Unfortunately, he no longer works there, kind of like me. But he says, I just bought this rifle and found your video. If it's the same William. I just bought this rifle and found your video. This was one of the most inspirational videos I've ever seen. I've been shooting and loading 45 ACP for over 40 years. I started with 357 even before that. Very, very cool. That is exactly something that that's what really makes me think that this was the guy I worked with, but it might not be. So if not, either way, you're still a cool guy. And thank you for your comment. That shot was a miracle shot. That was a Hail Mary shot, and I, honest to God, when I went out there, didn't think I was going to make it, let alone hit the cone twice. I still have the cone. It is my trophy. It's sitting up on my mantle. I still have the bullet that we recovered. It's up there too. There was no trick photography in that. I've been accused of faking the shot, and no, I didn't fake it, guys. I had almost $700 wrapped up into that video. If I was going to fake a shot, do you think I'd wrap $700 up into a video? I don't think so, especially for a channel that doesn't get paid, that's not monetized or anything. I mean, no, that was the real deal. Okay, it happened. Okay, let's see here. Let's go around down here. Crypto Creep 82. Now, he wanted to know about the Diana P1000, and I haven't talked about the Diana P1000 in quite a while. I would like to bring that gun out when I get feeling better, and when I'm able to again. Because again, all of this is hinging on my recovery. As soon as I'm recovered enough, I'm going to bring it back out, and we're going to shoot it. I have tested it. This was back when I first got it. I think I got that back in October or September. It does work. It is a working model. Okay, so the prototype Diana P1000 that I paid $100 for, it's one of one gun. All right, it was built specifically for Air Guns of Arizona, and they sold it to me for $100. No probe, and the probe cost almost as much as the gun. All right, and I had to get the probe from PCP Tunes. I got a probe for a Walther Dominator 1200, and it worked because they're based off of one another. The gun does work. It does hold 3,000 psi. It is incredibly loud, it is incredibly accurate, and it is an incredibly hard-hitting PCP. All right, and we will feature that in a future video. I do promise you that. Okay, so let's see here. Garbage Can Fried Spam. Love your videos. What was usable shot count before Hot Rod and after Hot Rod? Thanks, man, and take care. Before I did any of the stuff to Hot Rod, I was getting about 7 magazines out of it, and afterwards I get about 5. Okay, so I don't remember how much. I think it's 9 shots that holds. So 9 times 7. Well, I get 45 shots out of it now, and then I got another 18 on top of that. All right, which was what, 63. So, it's a decent drop. Some of you might not be comfortable losing 2 magazines worth of ammo, but at the same point in time, these guns, these 30 cals like this, are really designed to be hunting rifles, and that's what I'm trying to build is a very accurate, hard-hitting hunting rifle, something that's capable for long distance. And if it means to achieve my goal, I'm going to lose the ability to shoot 2 complete mags, I'm okay with that. Because especially in hunting, a lot of the PCPs that are out there, you can only get 2 or 3 shots out of them before you've even got to refill. Like on the Air Force Texan, you get three usable shots, and then it's game over. All right, so it's good enough for me. All right, let's see. That comment is no longer available. All right, Gary Stratton, he says, power is good, but not everything. I do agree with that. Accuracy is what I'm looking for. You got to be able to hit what you're shooting at. And I do agree with you 100%. You got to be able to hit what you're shooting at, Gary, but you've also got to be able to penetrate it. And in a hunting scenario, you've got to be able to ethically put down and incapacitate your game. That's the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I have shown you guys that with all the modifications, we're still shooting sub-MOA at 100 yards with the AEA 30 cal. All right, so Gary Stratton also says he bought a 30 cal with a 32-inch barrel, waiting on it now, just a few more days. He'll be doing a full review on it as soon as I have the LDC from Donnie FL and I take it apart and clean it. Good man. And shoot some break-in shots and scope it. There you go. Get familiar with it. You should be doing that. I mentioned that earlier. Probably be a New Year's review of the AEA Challenger Bullpup 30 cal with 32-inch barrel. Should be interesting. Thanks to American Defender in this video. You are welcome, sir. And enjoy that thing. Let me know, and let us all know down in the comments if you have a problem with that bolt. If you do, like I found on Terry's gun, look at that adjustment of that trigger and see what that does. It was after I had adjusted that trigger that we got that 1279 foot per second shot. All right, that's when I got it. Prior to that, I had only seen like I think a 1213 max out of it at 4,500 psi. So that tells me that the bolt is dragging on the sear as it's coming forward. There's something, they're slowing that bolt down. And when I adjusted the trigger the way I had it adjusted, that sear was able, because that's the only other thing in the way in there, is that sear. That sear had dropped down below the surface of the tube on the top and allowed the hammer to come forward without any kind of resistance or friction or running into anything. So try that out if you have that problem. If you don't have that problem, let us know as well, because again, the problems that I've seen on Terry's gun are an example of one. Okay, that doesn't mean they're all going to be that way. I have also heard that a couple people mentioned to me that the 32-inch 30 cal is now fixed and that they have brought it back out in a side lever version. And if that is the case, I'm going to have to get me one of those. Okay, because that's that would be a fix. That would definitely be a fix, changing the geometry of that bolt and everything. That would definitely fix it. So that is the video, guys. That is the comments and everything. We talked about the RC stuff and stuff coming. We're going to be talking about, like I said, Jacob Waltz, prospecting, metal detectors. We're going to do stuff on metal detectors too. I got a few of those. Drones, RC cars. I might do a couple more of these funny little phone songs. That's what I call them. Just because I'm bored and I got nothing better to do. All right, I can't work on a gun. So if you guys will just put up with me and be patient for a little while, I would really appreciate it. I would really like to be doing the stuff that I like to do, that I normally do on this channel, that I get a kick out of doing, and that I really, really like educating people on. If you'll just hang tight with me, we will get back to normal. It will happen soon. Okay. With that, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You guys take it easy out there. And remember, God bless you. Take a kid fishing, take a kid shooting. And I will see you on the flip. Bye now.